Hey everybody, welcome on into ClayShare Day. I am so excited. We have Flexi Bats now, and we're going to be having a demo. Lauren is here with us. And if you don't know about Flexi Bats, oh my goodness, you're going to fall in love with these by the time you're done with the next 45 minutes. You know, I first discovered them the beginning of this year, and in February they joined us for ClayShare Con, and Chelsea and Lauren did a demo. It was amazing. And they hooked me up with a ClayShare logo. So this is our official trademarked logo. I can say that now. And I made a mug with my logo on the side and also my logo on the bottom. So you can use these to make your logos that you can add to all kinds of things. If you have a custom order for a client and they need their logo on, they want to buy 100 mugs, this would be a great way to get their logo on it. And then they also have these beautiful pre-made designs. They've got so many of them that they go on the bottom of your pots, and Lauren's going to show us all about them. Mountain one, the mandala one is one I'm really loving right now. So let's go see what Laura's up to. Lauren's up to. Sorry.
Hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So good to have you here with us.
I'm so excited to be here again, round two. It's always an honor to be with ClayShare. So I'm going to show you 2 handle demos today, and then another exciting project towards the end, but I'll try and keep it a surprise. So
I love surprises.
So first we're going to start with a jug handle. So Chelsea has pre-thrown some pieces so lovingly, and she made this beautiful tall jug here. I think it's about, I would say like a foot or so. Yep, about 11 inches. So I'm going to put a handle on this. Of course, she threw it on a Flexi Bat, and she did our new lemon design.
Ooh, lemons. I love that.
Yes. Oh my God. They're so cute. It's like so fresh and springy and summertime. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to put a nice big handle on this guy, and on the inside of my handle, I'm going to add a little texture using Flexi Bats. So I have kind of made a beautiful long handle here. I'm going to run quickly through how I usually pull a handle, and then we can switch to that drier one later. I'll do a Martha Stewart on you. So
I love the Martha Stewart.
Don't you love it? It's such a good, it's a good segue. I love being prepared. So I pre-wedged this ball not too long ago. It's about like 1.5 pounds, almost 2 pounds. I just like to give myself a lot of play on one end to hold on to with my left hand. So I always do pulled handles. This could be totally, you could totally do a extruded handle from this. You could even do a simple slab handle, just kind of roll out your slab on the thicker side. But I opt for pulled handles just because I like the look of them. I think it adds one more touch of the hand to the piece. So what you see me doing here is I'm rolling out one end, and I'm kind of tapering this end here. So this is going to eventually be my handle here. And then this is what I'm going to hold on to in the meantime. So I have a bucket of water here. I'm going to keep, I'm going to hold on to this, keep my left hand dry, and just pull with my right. So I like to get kind of this bottom 2 or 3 inches wet, and then I just start pulling. And at first it's very gentle and just trying to get the clay even all the way around. And then when I start feeling a little bit more confident with my pulls, I've reached a good length, I can start shaping my handle. So usually these first few pulls for me, I'm just trying to get it nice and round. You can see it's pretty even all the way around in diameter. And then I can start shaping. So I'm still pulling length, and now I'm also going to flatten the handle. So usually when I pull, I start with my hand in a circle. And then as I'm, trying to shape my handle to be a little bit flatter, I'll kind of squeeze my thumb and my pointer finger to make almost like a rectangular-esque shape. So I'm just flattening out the slab. So I usually do a couple pulls on this side, and then you can see I'm twisting my clay do a couple pulls on this side nice and flat, and then I'll twist it again. So twist, 2 pulls, and then pull again. And I found that I only got good at pulling handles when I had to make like 30 of them for, for a project. So if you don't think you're good at pulling handles, if you do it 1,000 times, you'll be really good at it by the end. All right.
That's true.
Yep. Just doing things 100
over and over.
And right. So I'm going to kind of turn this over. And what I like to do is I like to hit the bottom so it can hang out for a minute as I kind of clean up my hands here. And I'm going to get both hands wet and grab a pin tool. So I like to hold the handle part with my left hand that is wet. And that's because my wet hands won't stick to the wet, sticky clay. I find that dry hands usually stick the most and they leave less fingerprints. And then I'm going to take a pin tool and I'm going to cut down at an angle towards me. So I'm going to start away from me, cut towards me down at an angle. And then you have this beautiful little curve here. And then I would go ahead and just shape this on an MDF board, a little wear board. And I usually shape it pretty close to my desired shape, what it's going to look like on my pot. If this board was acting as my pot, this would be the shape of my handle. So this guy's going to go over here and I'm going to pull out the pre-made one. It's a little drier. You want to do this project when your handle's on the drier side. So give it a couple minutes to dry. When I did one the first time, I gave it, I think like an hour or so, maybe 45 minutes to dry. It didn't take too long. You could just hit it with a heat gun too. So I have my pre-made handle here. It's nice and flat. And this is how it's going to sit on my jug. I do a little half heart or an ear shape. I know people kind of bounce between the terms, but I call it a half heart because it's cuter. So since the bottom of this jug is the lemon pattern or the citrus pattern, I'm going to use the same bat for the kind of inside padding of my handle. So what we're going to do is we're adding a little pillow right here, just a little place for your hand to grab onto when you're pouring your water. So I'm going to grab some clay.
And I'll let everybody know that I know this is Flexi Bats. We're not, and everybody's like, what's going on with the bottoms? No, this is another way you can use Flexi Bats. So
Yes.
They're not just for the bottoms. So
not just for wheel throwing, not just for the bottoms. You can, they're texture, essentially. They're just texture mats. So
right, they totally are.
Yeah. So I have a little less than a pound of clay here. And it's already wedged. I'm just going to smack it. I kind of pack it into my snowball here. And then I like to pad it either on a clean, flat table. And since, you know, not every table I encounter is clean, I can do it on the back of the mat too, because the bats are a nice, flat, smooth surface. You can just smack it on the back, give it a little rub. And usually that should get rid of any texture at the bottom. This is also great if you are wheel throwing this. Just in general, you kind of want a flat shape. I'm going to cut a little bit of clay off. Grabbed too much. I got too excited. All right. And then I just give that one quick roll just to get it pretty flat. I'm not using guides or anything. I'm just kind of eyeballing it and going by feel. Like so. All right, and then I'm going to take my bat and I'm going to put my clay right on top and just do a quick, gentle press. And then I like to use a brayer. This is a tool you can use when printmaking. And I'm going to roll right over the bat. You could also just use a rolling pin for this part. You could put it through your slab roller because the bats are really flexible and soft. They're not going to, like, you know, damage your slab roller or anything. You can just go right through. We have some video tutorials on our Instagram, and you can see me and some other people using them in our slab roller. So I usually take a little sneak peek. I want to make sure the texture kind of went over well. I do that with any texture too, not just the bats. So we're going to peel this guy off. Oh, yes. And we got that beautiful lemon texture. So gorgeous. Love it. I love it. All right. So when that is cut, I'm going to use an oval cookie cutter. For anyone wondering, I think it's about 3 inches by 2 inches, 3 by 2. And that should be more than enough for kind of our inner handle pillow. I don't know what I'm really calling it yet. I've just been calling it a pillow. It's not a pillow. Kind of goes.
It gives you a pillow shape. So
right, exactly. So I think I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, let's do a little bit bigger. Maybe we can eyeball it. It's always a good idea. I'm going to gently place this down on my texture. And I'm just going to cut my excess off. Like so. I have a little extra on the side here. And I would like to leave the impression of the foot in this stamp. So I'm going to cut right outside the foot, and I'll show you what this looks like in just a minute. I want to keep that foot. It's going to create a nice little seam for us when we attach it to the inside of our handle. It's almost like a little lemon shape too. It's a narrative here. So
yeah, it works.
Farewell. So that's what we're looking like. So slightly rounded on the edges here, and then on either side, we still have that foot. All right, so then we're going to take our handle, and this is going on the inside of the handle. I'm gonna eyeball, I think, where it's gonna go. That looks good. Clean up my sides a little bit. And this is where my top curve is here. So I'm going to line it up with that curve. And then what I'm going to do is place it in my palm here, like that. And I'm going to take a little bit of water on my thumb and just very gently kind of press down. You can do this on
just
top.
a little out of the frame at the bottom, hon. Just a little
sorry.
bit. That's all right. That's all right.
I'm getting distracted.
Oh, it's easy to happen when you're working and, you know, not paying.
Right.
I do it. I get, have to get reined back in.
We get carried away.
I know.
So I have a little bit of water in my thumb here, and I'm just going back and forth, and I'm making almost like a little dish, kind of like a very shallow dish here. And that's just going to start a curve for me. And then I'm going to continue to bend that over my handle here. And before we press too firm, I'm going to mark where it's sitting on my handle. And remove it for a minute. I'm just going to score the bottoms and the side. I'm going to do the side of this little slab here. Tops and the bottom. All right, and then we can add some slit. And I usually put a little like magic water in my slip, and that tends to help it stick a little bit. Usually in magic water recipes, you'll see like soda ash and sodium silicate. And when that sodium silicate dries down, it gets a little sticky. So I find that helps when I'm attaching objects, clay to clay. All right, and then we're going to bend this over. I'm gonna clean up my outer edge with a finishing sponge. And I'm just gonna press firm on all sides. I kind of want to do this now because when I attach it to my pitcher, you want to have easy access to it. And I'm using the lemon one, not only because it's the texture at the bottom of my jug, but because there's a lot of kind of flat space here. I can easily blend it together with my handle, and I'm not like touching the texture or anything. You could still do it with the other textures, but this one I found to be a little bit easier.
You're getting a lot of love for the lemons. Everybody's loving that.
Love for the lemons. I love that. I love lemons. They could also be oranges.
Anything
limes.
citrus you want them to be. Exactly. They can be what you want. Yeah, because there's slices in there. So
lemons. It should be the citrus bat.
Yes, the citrus. So it's called the citrus bat if someone wants to find it.
Yeah. We'll rename it the citrus bat.
What is it? Is it called that now, or what's it called now?
It might be the lemon bat. I'm actually not sure. I gotta check our website. Is that terrible or what? But you'll see it. There's always an image with our products on the website. So you'll see it. It's one of our newer ones. So it should be towards the top of our page anyways.
And that is just potterymill.com. There's Flexi Bats. So go to Pottery Mill. There's some cactus ones. I'm looking, there's monstera leaves. There's a damask one. There's a skull, sand dollar, rainbow, lots and lots of good stuff. So check those out. In addition to the fact you can get your own custom one made.
Yes. Yeah, the custom ones, like you mentioned, are really great, especially for those commission pieces. I feel like I get really really particular about how I recreate logos and stuff, especially if it's for someone's company. I want to make sure I get it right.
Yeah.
And printing out their logos on the bats are just way, way easier.
You can always reach out to them if you go to their website and you scroll over to more. It says contact us. You can just do that and you can reach out to them, and Chelsi will get back to you. So let's go back to, sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack you with the handle, but.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm just getting ready for touchdown here. I'm going to score the handle and then I'm going to score the pitcher.
Does Flexi Bats have any specials going on right now? Are you doing any deals?
I don't think so. We had a Memorial Day sale, but maybe we'll be having a few soon. I predict some summer ones coming up.
Okay.
So we have a lot of new patterns coming out. So if you email us through the website, we'll add you to our newsletter. Just email us, be like, add me to the newsletter, and we will. We'll put you on our list.
Perfect. So that's what you need to do, everybody, to get on their email list so you know when they have sales, because they don't always do sales.
Not often, but when we do, they're pretty good.
They're good ones. We did one during Clay Share Con. We'll talk about doing another one. So I just checked. I didn't find the lemons of citrus on the website. I don't know if they're out of stock, possibly.
You know what I'm thinking? I think these lemon ones are coming out with our summer collection. So
they're not. They're not out. They're a sneak peek.
They should be coming out very soon now.
So let me ask you, there's going to be a summer collection. Maybe there'll be a summer sale to go along with summer collection. So
we got the hookup.
All right. So make sure you get on the email list, everybody, so that you can get the first notice when the citrus bat comes out, or lemon, orange, lime, fruit punch bat.
The fruit punch. I like fruit punch. The fruit punch bat.
Yeah, they are great. I love all the bats. So many good patterns.
We got some fun textures. We just released a monstera and a cactus this year.
Oh, I see those. Those are great.
Oh, I love the monstera right now. It's so, I don't know, monsteras are having a real interior design moment again. So I'm loving those.
Yeah, I love them too.
We just did some like under the sea bats. We did an octopus bat, and octopus are my favorite animals. So it was a wonderful surprise to see those. It was great. All right. So I think I'm about finished with my handle. I'm going to go prop this up with a sponge so it doesn't sag as much, but that is our finished handle.
I love it. It's nice. It's like a grip, a place to hold the handle so it doesn't cut into your hand when you're lifting up. That's fabulous. That's a nice puffy handle.
I've been calling it the pillow. So it's the pillow.
It's the pillow handle.
It's the pillow handle. So, all right, I'm going to put this to the side. All right. And so we're going to get going on another project here. Okay. So for our next one, I'm going to show you another handle demo. And this was directly inspired by Annie from Eartha Annie. I would try and pronounce her last name. I think it's Kreitzberg. Don't roast me. I don't know how to pronounce it, but she's a fantastic potter on Instagram. I found her through Instagram. I think she's an editor at Ceramics Art Daily, but she has this beautiful rolled handle that she does for her mugs. I've seen it on her pictures. So we're trying to recreate that, but kind of put our own spin on it. So I'm going to do a 2-part textured rolled handle. It's a long title, but basically I'll give you a little sneak peek here. On the top you have one texture.
Oh yeah.
And then you have one on the bottom.
So we have a question with your pillow handle that you have on the, do you put a hole in that? Do you worry about the air in it?
Yes.
Needing to
I'll
escape?
put, I usually poke a handle like towards the bottom.
Okay. Put a little hole in towards the bottom. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll help it. So everybody just put a little hidden hole in there.
We don't need any explosions in the kiln. No,
we can
no bueno. So you can see I'm putting a little blue tape on my bat here, and that is to block off like this top section of the bat. And you'll see why in just a minute. I'm going to put 2 layers on just so it's really flat. I'm going to do it to my other one as well. I'm rolling it down a little bit here. All right. So the trick for this is doing it on one piece of clay, just in 2 parts. So I have my brayer here. I'm going to take some clay. You don't need a lot for this. It is just a handle. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off here. This is about less than a pound. And I'm going to do a quick roll again, just to get it nice and flat. Now I'm looking for a little bit more length, and I have my template beside me here, and I want to make sure my handle is going to be fitting within this slab. I need to make sure it's long enough. And I'm rolling it to about 1/4 inch, just eyeballing it. These handles are great when they're a little bit thinner because it is a rolled handle. You kind of roll it inward. So it doesn't have to be too thick to start. You want it on the thinner side by the end of it. So I'm going to start with this beautiful kind of mod flower styled bat here. And I'm going to place my clay on top here. And then with my pin tool, I'm going to mark where the tape is. That way I know where the pattern will end. So from this invisible line I've created here, I'm going to roll from here forwards. And we're just rolling down into the texture. And this is an important step in this process. You want to roll in one direction away from the center. Okay. And then we'll do a beautiful little peel. Looks pretty good.
Great.
It's kind of subtle towards the center, which I like. It'll kind of magically blend into our other pattern. So since I put those little registration, I know they're really tiny, but I put little registration lines on the slab here, I can flip this over and I'm gonna line up my bats here. I'm gonna line up these with my tape, just so I know where this floral pattern will end. Oh, other side here, there we go. Like that. So our floral pattern is here that's been rolled out, and then this side is blank on the other side. So again, I'm going to kind of press and roll down. And we're rolling that way. And once again, we're going to do a quick peel. Take a look, and everything looks good. Oh, we are not lined up there. Hello. Here, let me do that again.
It's a little bit off, but not too bad.
Little crazy. It's all right.
So people are loving the textures, and they're wondering, is Flexi Bat ever going to consider coming out with larger texture options? So if somebody wanted to do more than just, you know, a little handle or the bottom of their pot. Maybe.
Yes, that is a fantastic question. I can't give too much away, but Chelsi and I have been chatting about it, especially with some other hand builders that we have in the studio, and we're trying to make it more of a hand builder's tool and way of texturing. So it's been in a conversation. I can't say much. All right.
Mum's the word. We're not gonna say anything here, but I love that you're thinking about it, because
yes,
you know, we always like texture.
I've been thinking about it since like the beginning, but you know, we gotta move slow with some things.
It's true.
All right. Let's take a look here. Beautiful. Loving that. And then what we'll do here is we'll flip this over and we'll line it up kind of by eye. Gently flip, and then we're rolling this way. This was our roll texture on the other side. And we're just going to roll away. Okay. Lovely. Very cute. All right. So moving on here, forging ahead. Adjust it here so you can see what I'm doing. So I have my handle template here, and this one's a little bit large, but we don't really need the ends anyways. I'm using it mostly for this inner kind of curve here. And this is my halfway point, and I have little lines here to help guide me where the halfway point is. I'm going to take a pin tool and just slice on either side of the handle. And then I'm actually going to use the foot ring as my guide to cut out the top. I'm just going nice and slow with a pin tool. And then you should be left with that shape. So little finessing I like to do is I'm gently pressing on either side of the handle here. It's okay if I get rid of the texture. This is where the clay is going to overlap anyways. I really just want to preserve this beautiful texture down the middle because that will be within the spine. And if you're worried about your texture, you know, going away, if you're putting too much pressure on the table, you can put some like soft foam under here or just like a dry sponge.
Yeah. We're getting questions. Is there a template for the handle?
There is. I'll be putting one on our website later today.
She's going to put it up. So that'll be on Flexi Bats website, which is potterymill.com. So yes, to answer it, there is a template and it will be available for you all. So then you can make hand-built handles like this.
Yeah. So all I'm going to do is I start from the center. I just do a little scoring right here, add a little bit of slip. It's better if you do this kind of on the drier side. And usually these handles are so soft, or the clay is just so soft that you shouldn't need too much slip when attaching them together. But I like to be safe, so I do add a little bit of slip. And then we're going to add some right here on the end too. And then I just like to pinch the inside. So we've been kind of testing these for the last month or so, been doing like rolled handles like this because we're just having so much fun with the bats. So a trick that Chelsi has found when she gave these a go is she put a wooden knife right through this and then sprayed the handle with water. And I think that was for, you know, if her clay was a little dry, it could kind of take some time to soften up. And you also had it on a form just to relax it a little bit. So the inside of the handle is usually the ugliest part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a rubber rib and I'm just going to smooth out the seam. I just want it to be soft, you know, when you grab onto your mug. But any other finessing you'd want to do now. So the areas where your foot is on the ends of your handle here, that is where it will attach to your mug. And I pre-made one. I put one on here already. See? So what we did was right where the foot is on the inside here, we just scored that and attached it to the handle.
I know that. I love that the little curved part becomes part of the handle. That is spectacular.
Yeah, it looks like an extra little seam that you added, but it's just from the bats. They're pretty great.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
So that template will be up later. That'll be up later today. Yes. So fun.
Yeah. So I know we have like, I don't know, 10 more minutes.
About 10 more minutes. Yeah. If you have anything else you want to share?
I have one more project. Is that okay?
Go for it. Yeah, we're here. Go do it.
So Chelsi and I were chatting about what projects we wanted to do for the demo today. And when we have been teaching classes in our studio, I've been doing a lot of bird houses lately. Like I can't get enough of bird houses. So she threw a closed form and we're going to turn this into our birdhouse. So this is our kind of rainbow bottom here. It's very pretty. And then of course I have that rainbow bottom. Again, those little arches that I just used for our handle.
And if you're watching this and you want to know how to throw a closed form, I do have a class on making a wheel thrown lidded jar. That's a closed form that I cut the lid off, but you could just, leave it as one piece and you could throw it on the Flexi Bat and then you'd be where where Lauren's at now, and you'd be able to pick up right there. So the instructions on how to make a form like that are on clayshare.com. There's a class for that.
That's awesome.
And you do poke a hole in the handle. And if you want more info about hand-built handles like that, pillow handles, I do have a couple classes on Clayshare. I have a mug class and I do have a pitcher class that shows how to do that. A little different way than Lauren just did, but it just gives you an idea on how to do it if you want more information on that too. So I put that out there. Lots of stuff.
Yeah, got to celebrate Clayshare.
I know.
Today.
I know, hundreds of classes, thousands of videos. I don't even remember. I stopped counting classes around 300, and because it's gotten ridiculous. So I honestly don't know anymore how many classes are out there. I do 3 live broadcasts every week. So we always, add those in, and that's like 150 broadcasts. Those aren't technically classes. So although we do classes in them, but we're just keep going. One day I'll have somebody count it, but it won't be me. I'm not counting it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I know, like on YouTube, it kind of just tells you how many you have, but when you're on your own accord, you got to count yourself, and that's just lame.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
So I just rolled out a slab here. It's pretty thin. It's like an 1/8 inch. For my birdhouse here, the way I would string this up to a tree, or somewhere in the front of your house, on your porch, wherever it's going to go, I'm going to drill a hole through the top here and through the bottom as well. That way I can string some cord. I either do like leather. I've seen people do metal too. I'm not a huge fan of that because I feel like it would tarnish depending on the metal you get or the wire. I've also seen people do cotton, like almost like macrame cord. So I'll be drilling in a hole in that later. I have this beautiful cookie cutter that we 3D printed. Also possibly might be in the works. I'll just leave it at that. But it's this, I have a round one here, and then I have this one that is
like a scalloped edge. Yeah.
It's scallops, exactly. And
yeah,
I've been calling them ruffles.
Yeah, I like ruffles too. I use ruffles. Yeah.
We've been doing
ruffled
a lot of ruffle edges. So I'm going to cut that out. It fits the outside of the bat perfectly. So I'm going to use that to cut out my covering here, and I'm going to let that set up for just a minute, let it dry. And then in the meantime, I'm going to take this foam template that I have, and I'm going to cut out my hole on the outside. And I like to use an X-Acto for that, or one of these guys, a nice blade. And I usually do mine above the bottom half. That way, if you wanted to put like bird seed in here, you want to have bird seed falling out of the bottom, you could actually keep a good collection of bird seed in here. So I'm going to hold this on the side here very gently. This is a pretty firm wheel thrown piece. And I'm just going to trace with my little template here. This opening is probably around like 2 to 3 inches. I have small birds in my backyard, so they don't need to be too big. And then we'll slice. So we have a lot of new designs coming out. I believe we have a handful of them. I know the lemons are in the mix. Those are going to be probably my favorite for the summer.
Oh, they're definitely on my list.
Yeah. I have a small test to show you guys today. This has been like an ongoing test that we've been trying. I think we started it back in winter. That's how long it's been going on. But we've been trying to do like a colored slip inlay on the bats. and we're still kind of working out the kinks because
I've seen little videos on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I saw a little preview of some of these, but yeah.
Thank you. I want to make sure that when we get down a good technique, we can just share it with the world. So I don't think we've quite yet broadcasted, everything that's worked for us, but I do have a test that just came out of the bisque and I can show you what it looks like. I'll let that set up for a minute. That's still drying.
I have a question. You were showing the little cutters you had, and someone has a 3D printer themselves, and they want to know what 3D program you use on the 3D printer. They use CAD.
I'm not sure if you, to whoever asked that question, that is a fabulous question. If you want to email us through Flexi Bats, it's flexibats@gmail, or you can just find it through the site. And you can ask Chelsi that question because she's the tech wizard. She knows all the 3D printing, all the things. So
okay.
this was my first attempt at a colored slip inlay.
I think it came out fairly well. Yeah.
Not too bad. Some of like the tighter areas on this little cut of a citrus of the lemon kind of fell off, but this lemon turned out pretty dang awesome. So I don't know. We'll keep trying it. For my birdhouse here, I just want to add a covering to this, and then I'm going to poke a hole in the bottom, and that will be a place for a dowel or a twig if you want a little landing zone for your bird. So I'm going to use my circle cutter here, and I'm just going to eyeball it.
So this could be a birdhouse, or you could turn it into a feeder, right? If you wanted to, it could be
Yes.
either or.
Absolutely.
So it's really, really up to you what you make it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a birdhouse-ish right now, but it could be a feeder.
Yes, it could be whatever your heart desires. So that's how we're looking there. I'm going to attach that like so, but that will be like a little shade, a little covering.
Little roof.
And now your top will match the bottom.
Super cute.
Yeah. What's nice about the bird feeders, obviously, or, the bird houses, whatever you kind of turn this into, if you hang it up, you'll see texture at the bottom from the bats, which is really fun. I think that was a huge selling point in wanting to make these today. So I'm going to score it into this. Thank you, Miss Jessica. Loving it too. I really like this. Chelsi's going to want to keep this too. She's going to text me in a minute. She'll be like, can I keep that? And I'll say yes. I'll always say yes. She can have it.
And you just have to make yourself another one.
Exactly. She did that for our soap dish too. We did not too long ago during NCCA. She was like, can I have that? Also, can you make one for my mom? Just doing a little scoring here. And I might add some windows. I have a little flower shaped cookie cutter here that I might use for some windows. Maybe on the other side, I'll do a couple. But pretty easy going. I love closed forms right now. They're so easy to turn into like almost anything. You could do so much with a closed form. So I encourage you all to go watch Jessica's class about it. They are really useful.
I know. I love the comment that came up that I need to do a line of t-shirts that says I have a class for that. Like clay share. I have a class for that. Or maybe there's a class for that.
Little talking head of you, you're like, I have a class for that.
I know, right? That's just what we all need.
Yep.
So I think that's super fun, just showing all the possibilities that you can create with these Flexi Bats, not just for the bottoms of a pot. you know, you can make little details for your birdhouses, whether you're making functional birdhouses or making decorative, right? Because
Right.
they don't necessarily have to go outside. Some people put birdhouses in their houses as decoration. And of course, if you're making, you know, functional things for birds to use outside, make sure you check into it not being in the sun and whatever else they need, so you don't cook the birdies and things.
Always in the shade, protect the birds.
That's right. We don't want to cook the birds. So Lauren, I want to thank you so much for filling in for Chelsi. You know, you've done a great job today. If you all have questions out there about Flexi Bats, you want to get your own logo
made, your own Flexi Bat logo made. I don't know how it ends up mixed up in here, but I get my ClayShare one out. There it is. You know, reach out to Flexi Bats, it's potterymill.com. Reach out to Chelsi. You know, she will walk you through the steps. She'll tell you what you need to do for sizing. She'll help you get your logo together. I don't think she'll actually design your logo for you, but she'll help you with it and help you know what looks good, because some folks were talking about, can I have text on here? And you can, but there's certain sizes you need to have the lettering to be for it to work really well. So reach out to them, and if you don't want a logo, don't get a logo. Get a super cute one to go on the bottom, right? I mean, I got this mountain one. That's going to be a fun one to play with. I got a mandala. When those lemons or citrus ones come out, you know, I'm going to be in line for those. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Lauren, for filling in for Chelsi. I appreciate you being here and being part of ClayShare. And next we have coming up, we have Maria Sampson. She's going to be doing some Georgie's glazes and interactive pigments. So many of you know Maria from her Whimsical Garden Stack class. So she's coming back to do a little tutorial with us now. So I'll see you all at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.